We were $3,400 away from debt freedom. $3,400. One more month of rice and beans. One more month of no restaurants. One more month of staring at the same spreadsheet every night after the kids went to bed. And then, I opened the mail. My husband had put us $26,000 back into debt, and he hadn't told me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Not right away. I sat at that kitchen table holding a credit card statement I had never seen before attached to an account I didn't know existed, and I thought, this marriage is over. It wasn't. But getting from that kitchen table to where we are now, debt-free, same marriage, actual trust, that took something very different from what I expected. And here's the quiet truth most finance advice won't tell you. Here's what the numbers actually say. According to Bankrate's 2026 survey, 2 in 5 Americans in committed relationships admit to financial infidelity. 2 in 5. When I first read that number, I thought, that's other people. That's not my marriage. Then I kept reading. Nearly 1 in 10 are hiding major sources of debt, expenses, or income from their partner. A separate study by Western and Southern found 28% of married Americans admit to hiding significant purchases or debt, and 40% said they would end a relationship entirely over financial deception. So this isn't just my story. This is happening in 1 out of every 3 households on your street. The average American household is carrying $11,153 in credit card debt, at an average APR of 21.52%. That's not a payment problem. That's a secrecy problem. Earning interest. Now, here's where it gets strange. The U.S. Census Bureau released data showing 23% of married couples now keep completely separate finances, 0 joint accounts. You might think that prevents problems. It doesn't. It creates blind spots. When my husband opened that account, we already had separate credit cards. We told ourselves it was independence, it was a hiding place. And here's what nobody tells you. It doesn't matter whose name is on the debt. If you live in a community property state, that debt can follow you. The creditor doesn't care who signed, they care who pays. Debt.com's 2025 survey found 42% of divorcees said credit card debt played a role in ending their marriage. That number is climbing. So here's what I want you to hear. You're not bad with money. Your spouse isn't the villain. What happened to us isn't a character problem, it's a visibility problem. 3 in 5 Americans considered postponing marriage to avoid inheriting a partner's debt. And once you're married, 1 in 4 couples say money is their single greatest relationship challenge. Not parenting, not in-laws, money. The problem isn't rare, the solution isn't complicated, and I'm going to show you exactly what we did. Step 1. The 72-hour freeze. When I found that statement, I wanted to confront him immediately. Don't. Financial betrayal triggers the same brain chemistry as physical infidelity. Your amygdala hijacks your prefrontal cortex. You cannot have a productive conversation when your brain is in fight or flight. So we waited. 72 hours. Just space. Day 1 was rage. Day 2 was grief. Day 3, I could finally breathe. Then we sat down. Step 2. The full transparency audit. Not show me your statement, everything. Every account. Every login. Every recurring charge. We spent 4 hours with both laptops open. I found subscriptions he forgot about. He found a savings account I had forgotten existed. Total damage, $26,147. The couples who recover from financial infidelity share one behavior. They treat the audit like an autopsy, not an interrogation. You're not asking how could you, you're asking what are we looking at. Step 3. The no-blame budget. This is where most couples fail. They build a plan on shame. Instead, we built a budget that assumed we were both going to mess up. We built in a $200 monthly, no questions asked allowance for each of us. And we automated every single bill payment. Not because we didn't trust each other, because willpower fails. Systems don't. Here's the 20-minute ritual that saved our marriage. Every first Sunday of the month. Both of us. Kitchen table. 3 questions only. 1. What came in? 2. What went out? 3. Is anything different from last month? That's it. Not a budget review, not a lecture. A check-in. Because financial infidelity doesn't start with a big secret. It starts with a small one. We've been doing this for 18 months. We've had exactly 2 fights about money in that time. Before, 2 fights a week. Let me show you the math on why this matters. $26,147 in debt at 21.52% APR. If we had made only minimum payments, we would have paid $15,745 in pure interest. Instead, we paid it off in 14 months. Total interest paid, $5,903. Money we kept in our family, $9,842. That's a car. That's a year of daycare. That's a family vacation that doesn't go on a credit card. And we didn't do it with a side hustle. We did it by following that 3-step system every single month. No magic, just visibility. I forgave my husband about 3 months into this process, not because he earned it, because I realized the secret wasn't about me. He was ashamed, and the hiding made it worse. That's what happens with money secrets. They compound. If this is you, if you're sitting in a parked car right now because you can't face what's inside the house, I need you to hear one thing. You are not the debt. You are not the mistake. And this marriage is not over. The system works, but only if you start. Here's your homework. This Sunday, kitchen table, 1 laptop, 3 questions. What came in? What went out? What's different? 20 minutes. If you can't do it together, start alone. Face your own numbers, show up first. Because the marriage you save starts with the number you're afraid to say out loud.